Okay, so let's talk about the Karmelo Anthony case. Karmelo recently stabbed to death another student at a high school sponsored track meet. I'm sure y'all have heard about that by now, heard the story by now. It happened in Frisco, Texas. The student that was stabbed, his name was Austin Metcalf. Supposedly he and his twin brother was trying to get Karmelo to leave under a school-sponsored tent. Karmelo allegedly defended himself. It was stated that he, stabbed him, and when the police arrived, he told the police that he did stab him, It wasn't alleged. He stabbed him, and he was asking if he was all right. My heart goes out to all of the families involved, both families involved, the Anthony family as well as the Metcalf family. No one wants to see young men or young people at a sporting event get into a brawl so bad to where someone had to die from a weapon. But the word is out there that the twins, had approached him, and he, they were telling him Austin was trying to get him to move, and he said, "Make me move and see what happens." And he stabbed. I don't know the whole story. I don't know any of the story, but these are the reports out there. It's just a sad day that kids resort to things like that. I don't know the whole story. We'll see what happens when it comes out. But the main thing about this case, what's going on, is that Karmelo had $1 million bond initially. I initially thought, why is this bond so high? Why would they put a bond on a child, supposedly not having any other prior trouble, a stellar student and an athlete? And so supposedly the other young man was, a stellar student and athlete. They both went to rival schools. But anyway, he was charged for murder, had $1 million bond, and I was just thinking, that's way too high. I don't even think they give serial killers bonds like that. But fortunately, he did have it reduced to $250,000. He also got expelled from the Frisco ISD, which I'm thinking, you can't be judge and jury on a matter. Let the courts handle it. He's 1 month from graduating. Let that happen. I did end up seeing the press release for the Anthony family. But anyway, just from what I know, the Metcalf boys' father asked that there not be a racial divide, not have any racial, disharmony based on it. It was just two kids who got into it, and fortunately one kid was stabbed to death by another kid. And that's the way I view it, and that's the way I know the city of Frisco, is. I'm from close, to the area, so I know that's how it is. The kids are a lot alike, regardless of race. Unfortunately, I got into it, but as you would have it, a lot of racial divide is happening. A lot of, white people are saying, well, we have to protect our children. And I'm like, what? What do you mean? We all have to protect our children. But it is a very hugely, widely known fact that, black children have to know more things about protecting themselves because somebody won't like them for the color of their skin. So we have to share with our children things that we don't want to have to teach them. So anyway, let me continue on with the case. Karmelo Anthony's folks, or there was a Give Send Go campaign opened up for the Anthony family, and they have garnered close to $500,000. And certain people have the nerve enough to have outrage about it. And I'm like, who are you to have outrage? If you weren't outraged about Kyle Rittenhouse or the like, then don't have outrage about this. The difference I see is this kid, Karmelo, wasn't looking for any trouble. Trouble found him, and he, acted accordingly, or whatever you may think. But they had nobody. There was, it was outraged by people thinking, hey, why are they defending this man? Went looking for trouble, crossed state lines to shoot somebody. Anytime you see a bunch of guns, you know it's going to be trouble, especially if people are brandishing weapons. So you have to know that problems are going to happen with guns around. There are also some people saying that the Anthony family is getting a new home and security, everything. I saw during the press conference at the time, no money had been released. I also could care less what this family does with the money in order to protect their son. He should have a fair trial. You should go through due process. A lot of things, certain people don't care about the, advantages of due process, unless it's them. They want to be judge and jury and try somebody right on the spot. Well, it doesn't work like that. We need to hear all of the facts. My heart goes out, like I said again, to both families. Nobody wants children getting into that kind of, fight or anything like that to where it becomes fatal. Nobody wants that. You want the kids, if they're going to fight, fist fight, do whatever they're going to do, and go home and live to see another day. You don't want this to happen. I don't know all the facts. I don't know all the stories. I don't know if Karmelo was previously threatened or what caused any of this, but I do know I'm not going to try him without, in my own mind. We're going to listen to the case. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, but we need to listen to the facts, all of the facts. I'll continue to look and follow this case. My prayers go out to both families, and yes, justice should happen, but justice should happen in the way it's set up. Not for anybody to go out and say, oh, I'm going to kill this child. They don't know the story, just black and white. There was also recently, quote unquote, pretty much a supremacist demonstration in the city of Frisco that nobody asked for. Nobody in the area wants white supremacists coming to the town, starting trouble, talking about protect the white race. And that main, guy leading the charge, Jake somebody, even had the nerve enough to call Austin Metcalf's father, Greg Metcalf, weak. How do you call a father weak? Because he wants peace. Peace. Instead of war. I know he wants justice for his family. I know justice needs to be served. I don't even know. It might just be, plain old self-defense and stand your ground or whatever. We need to know the facts. But we don't need trouble and hecklers and supremacists or white domestic terrorists coming out starting trouble. But at any rate, I'll keep up with the case, and there's a lot of discussion going on with this case, and I just wish the outcome. I want the outcome to come out the right way. Karmelo didn't say he didn't stab the young man. He admitted to it, but we need a fair trial. All right. Well, you can let me know your thoughts below. But I did want to mention that case and talk about it. It was just something that happened, that happens. It's familiar, or it could be familiar as far as black people not getting fair and just trial. People want to be judge and jury without knowing all the facts, or they just want to kill you because you're black. Just certain things happen. So we'll continue to look out for this case and go from there. All right. Have a good day.